Hey again, everybody. Nicola here from Conscious Crypto Traders. And again, I'm here alone without Teresa. She's got a few weeks of very intense work to do in her business with the Evolutionary Business Council yearly retreat coming up. So it's me, and we're going to be looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Kasta. If we get time, we'll do XRP. We want to look at where are we going to now. There's obviously, we're in a really good situation right now where we're pumping to the upside. Where are the resistance levels we need to watch out for a potential dump? And how high are we going to go before we get to the new moon, which is more often than not a price reversal to the downside. We've just had full moon, which is usually when we find our bottom, and then we get a reversal to the upside, and we have had it like clockwork this full moon. So I'd love for you to say hi. I'm looking over here because I've got my other computer here so I can see your comments. I would love for you to say hi and where you're from. And also we would, oopsie, let me get that away from the stream just in case I didn't connect with it on time. Yes, say hi and give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell and click all if you're new to our channel. We are a tutorial for trading channel, and we're going to be having some NFT metaverse stuff coming up as well, some tutorials on how do you invest in that. So on that note, a couple of announcements before we start. Number one, down the bottom in the description area is our link to our very new Twitter channel, which has only got 5 followers. We are starting our NFT launch. We've got the pre-launch on the 22nd of February, minting. All of you who are following us and you're on Twitter, you go over to the website, you want to join the pre-launch for the mint pre-launch, are going to get the opportunity to get the NFTs at a discounted rate. So when they go live public, the day after, there's an opportunity for you to have increased value. We are hoping, and you can follow our progress. We're also going to be doing quite a lot of tutorials on how to create your own NFTs and make money from them. Also how to invest in NFTs and make money from that, the metaverse. And that's all going to be on the Twitter account. So the link for that is below. So let's get started. Hey, Chaotic Coda, how are you doing? Kansas City, awesome. So let's get going. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Zooming out on the weekly, last week I spoke about, even though we were dangerously, hugging this ascending support level, when I zoom out, I'm not thinking that we're going to get a major dump. And even if we did and we came down here to 29,000 or even just a little bit low, we could have just been creating another bottom to bounce up and still be in the bull run. And the reason for that is twofold. This is a narrowing ascending wedge, which doesn't have a breakout till around about maybe July, possibly earlier. But as we start getting into the narrowing or the pinnacle of the pattern, it's not for a while to come yet. I've put dates to watch for the potential transition from bull run to bear run in my mind mentally, February, March, April, somewhere around there, to pay very close attention, but specifically around these dates because Mercury retrograde is when we've always had the big dumps. This was Mercury retrograde last year, and then we went into a Saturn retrograde, and then we dumped and dumped, right? So we've got another conjunction of Mercury retrograde, Saturn retrograde, which is where we're going to dump. So there's the structure. The other thing I'm looking at is this very strong band of trading within the zone here between 29,438 all the way up to 41,500 approximately, which is where we failed to go below and failed to go above too much here when we came down into the doldrums. So that two and a half month period from May through to I think it was July, end of July going into August, right? We came out of that and then we pumped hard, created a new all-time high. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm more bullish than bearish, but we need to look at both case scenarios because we've come down in this channel and we're right at the resistance. So let's go and have a look at what's going on in the lower time frames on the daily. So see how we've almost got this triangle here, like a descending triangle between here and here, very tiny. And of course, descending triangles break to the downside, you know, which could bring us back down to a lower low. But generally speaking, on a full moon, we do get some kind of a pump to the upside. But this is like, if we were going to flip bearish and head further down, it's the next couple of days that are going to determine, are we going to keep going and then break out here to the upside, or break down to the downside? Because we're squeezing in, you know, our availability of moving between support and resistance. And then the expectation, obviously, this is a downward channel, which breaks to the upside more often than not. This is a bullish pattern. However, we're still posting lower lows, right? This one here's a higher low, but this is what we're waiting on. Where are we going to go? Now, this is what we need to be watching out for with the moon phases. In a bull run, usually moon phases, we see little dumps, sometimes big dumps. Here was a big dump right there. And for the full moons, we see pumps, right? We're waiting on that next candle to show us, are we going to get that full moon pump now that the full moon has given us the potential bottom? Now, new moon is happening in the beginning of February. So in the next 2 weeks, we really need to push up past 51,000. In my opinion, we need to actually go up above 55,000, 53,000 to really feel like we've got enough of a pump going, so that when we get that full moon retracement, it's only back down to retest the previous resistance level as support, confirming we are going to keep going up to the next level of resistance, which would create a higher high. Now, obviously, this is a downward channel. So when we break out, confirm it, come back up, the target for that is 69,168, and I am looking at that 75,000 of being a potential next higher high as we come up and hit this level here. Will we do that in the next 2 weeks? I don't know. We need to see the bulls coming in very definitively, and we're not seeing that as we go down into the 4-hour. I think there's still a little bit of hesitancy, right? However, on the 4-hour, we can also say that this is also a downward trending channel, which again is a smaller downward trending channel within the larger one. So now we're right up against the resistance of that. Are we going to push up, break out of that, and then break out of this one? That's what we're wanting to watch. So we are starting to see volume coming in a little bit, but not enough green down the bottom here for me to be excited. And now what I'm doing is I'm looking for bullish divergences, and we did have a bullish divergence here on the RSI, but this could have already played out if we get a red candle to come back down. So as far as trading ideas are concerned, it's pretty much the same as what I've been saying every day in Discord. We're still in that that danger I don't want to use because I don't want to get over emotional, but we're teeter-tottering around the support level. It's very strong, clearly, but there's always obviously the opportunity that the more times we hit it and bounce off of it, the more likely we are to go to the upside. However, if we go past the number of times hitting it, we're weakening that support and we could come below it, and then we wouldn't get that full moon pump, which would be a possibility. So if you're looking at shorting this, you've got too much strong support below you. That's not what I would be looking at. I would be waiting for a break to the downside, reconfirm this as this support here as resistance, and then have it come back down with momentum and volume and everything lining up to enter the short there. Otherwise, you short and you just hit the strong support and end up either getting liquidated or stopped out, right? So I don't think this is shorting territory. If I bring in the Ichimoku cloud, the Ichimoku cloud is starting to flip bullish. So we can see that on the 4 hourly, the red line here, which is the baseline, is under the conversion line, and the conversion line, which is the green line here, is above. That is an indication that we are starting to get bullish momentum, and we're under the Ichimoku cloud, which means we've got a lot of resistance above us to get up of. We know this, right? Looking at like to at least 45,900, it's kind of, there's going to need to be some excitement coming in, or some news or some volume coming in to really push this above here in the next 2 weeks. Otherwise, what we could see is a breakout to the upside, hitting resistance, coming back down, finding a higher low, maybe coming all the way back down to 42,000, and then coming back up, and February being the run if we don't get that enthusiasm and that excitement into Bitcoin. That is a possibility. So bottom line is, if you are going to long this, if you're not already in a long, we are from back down here. So we're just writing this out. You want to wait till we get above the next couple of resistances and at least break out of this here, and of this descending line here. So at this descending line here as well. And also bullish momentum for the Ichimoku cloud means we see green ahead of us, and we don't have green ahead of us on the 4 hour. But let's look at the 1 hour to see if there's a day trade or something short term. And again, we're right up against resistance, and we're creating lower highs, right? So that's usually not a time to long if you're not already in one from the swing low here. So the time to have long would have been this green candle here to ride this up, take profit here, come back in on the next wave. But we don't have green on the Ichimoku cloud here. We don't even have the conversion lines above, and is below the conversion line, sorry, is below the baseline. Also, the lagging span line is coming into the price action. So I mean, Wednesday is often a bit of a pump day. So I think this candle is going to be a very interesting candle, a very important candle to close. This could end up being a shooting star, which we need, this candle here, which we need to watch for. As I said, volume is starting to come in. I'm feeling like we're going to come up and in the next couple of days break above here, in which case that is a really good entry to long. So let's say hi to everybody. Okay, so I'm not kind of sure what you're saying there, but hello, Rhoda, to you anyway. And hello to all of our favorites as well. Hey, I would love your subscription if you're new to the channel and you really like the integration of astrology and scenario trading on top of the ordinary technical training that we do and the technical analysis. So here's what you want to be doing on your charts, is you want to be grabbing your Fibonacci tool over to the left, taking this swing low here to where we just topped out there, to have a look at where are we at the 50%, which is sitting at about 41835, because that is a potential retracement, as well as the Fibonacci level of 0.618, which is a golden ratio. So that is sitting at around 41690. If we go down and then bounce off of that, that's often a good entry long, in my opinion, depending on volume, depending on RSI being at the bottom, so it's got room to move, and momentum so that it doesn't just fake out, right? The other thing I do is do the same thing, but do with the Fibonacci, but do it in reverse to find out where we could be going. So I go from the top and I go from the bottom to look at where we are with our resistance. And the next really major resistance after we break out of this pattern is sitting up at around 43,451. So again, we've got a lot of resistance to push up through, and what we need is good news. We need bulls coming in, and we need a lot more fervor in the trading of longs, and that could happen in the next couple of days. Hey, Kelly. So that is it for Bitcoin. The other thing, just remember, you want to be looking at your Bitcoin rainbow chart to see where we're at. The Bitcoin rainbow chart looks at the trajectory of the price of Bitcoin from halving to halving, and you will see that we haven't come anywhere near the potential of the top like we did in 2017 and 2013 going into 14, right? So we are still down here in the green, the yellow, and the orange, haven't even gotten up into the red section here, suggesting we haven't reached our market top yet. And if we look at this and drew a line from there to there, that is a symmetrical triangle, which is a continuation pattern, and we've come into it from the downside coming up into it, which is suggesting there is going to be more continuation to the upside. And I think the Ethereum is a little bit precarious as well, but slightly more bullish than Bitcoin is. Let me just get rid of that for you. So we've got a little bit more room to look at. And you'll see I've done the Fibonacci's here to the downside to see where we could retrace to. But we've been in a downward channel, and we've also kind of created a downward channel here. This could even be a nice cup and handle. So we're watching that on the 1 hourly, in which case if we were to draw a neckline for that to see where the breakout would be, I would do it like that. Some analysts might do it like that, but it's just a bit weird as a handle, sort of coming down like that. I kind of would do it like that. But I would observe the other one that I had done, right? So we would take the measurement from there to see where we're going. And if we were doing the other one, we would take it up from this neckline. And a breakout here. So we've got some targets now here of 3223. We've also got 3273. I've got this number here. I think that is from looking at where we might have some resistance coming back as we look to the left. But then, of course, when we break up to the upside out of these downward channels, we often head on up to the top of the channel, which is going to be at around 3390. Ultimately, I think the price target we want to be watching out for is 3639. It would be great if this full moon pump could get us that high. So when we come down for our new moon dump, we are creating a higher low. So we know that we've left the doldrums behind. We've left the past behind us in terms of any threat of a bear cycle, but we don't really have too much enthusiasm coming in right now. Let's have a look at the Ichimoku. See, Ichimoku on the 1 hour, still no green ahead of us. We've still got a lot of resistance. So if you're day trading this, you're basically going to be scalping the moves, right? These short moves. And if you're swing trading, then you would have been in from here looking at, starting to take some profit once we get up here. So that's kind of it. We're kind of like watching what's happening here. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to trade this cup and handles, you know the deal. Breakout, retest, come back in above the candle that we broke out of with a very clear green candle bottom, clearing it so that you are you are then looking at your RSI and your momentum and the volume here to see if it's going to push it up. We also like to use the Ichimoku cloud because if we don't see green ahead, it's not a certainty that we're going to keep going being bullish, which means that the trade could reverse in on you. So finally, let's have a look at Kasta, and I'm going to go here to this here. And I'm kind of thinking that this could be a symmetrical triangle, which is a bit weird that we've come up here and then gone down into it. So it's a bit debatable as to whether this is a bullish symmetrical triangle. I tend to think it is, because we've got these 3 green candles here, which could take us back up to 96 cents. And then continued higher prices. But in the next 2 weeks, again, to make the most of this full moon pump, I want to see it get up above $1.08 would be really awesome. And for those of you who are looking at getting in on this project, I am supporting this project. I really like the guys behind it. I think they've got a good heart, they've got a good model, and I'm looking at it as a long-term thing anyway, despite a little bit of the catastrophe that we had with Bybit crashing. So that is it for today. I'd love for you to subscribe if you're brand new. And most importantly, head on over to our Twitter account and for the Freedom NFTs, the link is below, and follow our NFT project. The launch is coming up. It's very, very exciting. The story of what we're doing is using the transformative power of light to create a movement of positive freedom around the world, which is a little lacking right now. And it's all my photographs and the graphic artist that I'm working with, Anne-Marie's photos. And we've got a beautiful story. We love the activism side of what we're doing, and we would really appreciate your support. We will be giving back to the community, not only in what we're doing to raise the value of the NFTs, but also in teaching you what we're learning from our journey and how to create your own NFTs and then get them up and selling, because it's not just about creating them and uploading them to, say, OpenSea or another platform. You've got to have a really good brand and a really good story. So we're going to be releasing some of what we're learning on our Twitter account, and the link for that is below. And one last thing, for those of you who want to go into really intense training on how to be a good technical analysis and spot trading with leverage, using higher consciousness, using astrology, as well as good technical analysis, the link for my private mentorship group is below. You click that, check out at that, and if you want to join us, then you are most welcome to do that. We have a great band of merry men and women that are supporting each other, and we all are just in the process of buying land in the metaverse, which some of us did last night. And we're looking at getting into projects for the bear cycle. So we're already looking at where profits are going to go into that bear cycle while we're waiting for the bounce back up in crypto. So it's not just about trading crypto. We are looking at a rounded portfolio for being in the crypto space. So thanks for all the likes, guys. That's really amazing. Let YouTube know that we're giving value and that you want to hear from us, so that our videos, when we upload our tutorial videos daily, we go live every Wednesday. Teresa will be back with us in February. Then you can start seeing the notifications for that. And I'm going to see you next Wednesday. I've got a couple of videos actually I'm going to be uploading over the next couple of days following this full moon pump, as well as some other really good goodie tutorials. So watch out for that. Make sure you've subscribed. And until we meet again, trade consciously, which means be conscious, be aware of things around you and within you that could be affecting the profitability of your trading. See you later, guys. Bye for now.